Hello everybody, this is my guide to Mace PvP. I hope you all can enjoy the video, and if you are new here, please subscribe. It helps out a lot in me trying to grow my channel on my way to 100 subscribers by the end of 2026. Now, without a doubt, let's get into the guide. The first thing we will be talking about is attribute swapping with your density mace. Now, a normal density mace without attribute swapping doesn't do nearly as much damage as it would with attribute swapping. Attribute swapping. As you can see, the reason why it does that is it combines the sword damage with the density enchantment and mace damage. So it is essentially basically what's happening. If you combine the sword damage, which is 8, and you combine the mace damage, which is 6, combining those, you will get 14 damage. And enchant that with the density, and you will do much greater damage, which is the reason why I'm able to one-tap from only normal wind charge height. That wasn't one-tap, but... And if I just did this, it's not even going to pop them when they're below half health. And it is very simple. All you have to do is, before you go to hit them, you swap to your mace and hit them with the mace. The next thing we will be talking about is breach swapping. It is the same thing as density swapping, except it has different enchantments. And instead of combining the damage, it basically gives your sword enchantment the breach enchantment. And what breach does, it negates 60% of your opponent's armor. So breach swapping is like hitting them if they didn't have 60% of their armor on. And breach is only useful from below 7 blocks. Otherwise, you would want to prefer your density mace from greater heights. Like if you did a pearl catch, you would want to use your density mace there. Even though both would pop, density would do more armor durability. Now, as I mentioned, there is a thing called a pearl catch. All it is you throw a pearl and throw a wind charge right after. I will slow down the tick rate once again to show you guys. So all you have to do, pearl, wind charge. It is extremely simple. Now, the next thing we'll be talking about is how to bypass your opponent's shield. There is 2 ways that I know of. One of them is stun slamming, as you see. That is called a stun slam. And the other one is a backstab. I will show you. Many of them are like that. It is just going behind your opponent before they can. And the reason why that is possible is because the shield has a 180-degree view of like your body. So if I had a shield, it'd only be usable. I will draw a line across the screen to show you what it would protect me from. And the reason why backstab works. It works for anything or any weapon. It doesn't matter what you do or like what you hit them with. It will always hit them as long as you are behind that range. The next thing I will get into is alien wind charging. Alien wind charging is a way to quickly gain height by wind charging on the ground and looking a certain direction. And the preferred angle to perform an alien wind charge is 35 to 45 degrees, as you can see above my hotbar. Next thing I will get into is simple wind charging. Instead of just looking down and clicking, you want to jump at the same time as your wind charge. It will give you much greater height. The next thing I will be talking about is pearl grappling. Pearl grappling is super easy once you get the hang of it. I usually mess up sometimes. But to perform a pearl grapple, you want to pearl onto your opponent. And the reason I'm not looking directly at them is because of momentum. Your pearl will take time to reach them, so if you look directly at them, it's just gonna fly over, because not only because of ping, but also because of your velocity. As you can see, even if it looks, when I look directly at them, I won't immediately meet them. And the closer you are to your opponent, the easier it will be to pearl grapple, as you don't really have to predict where they're going to land or go. The next thing we'll be talking about is elytra racing. Now, elytra racing is simple. You simply go up to a high height with your elytra, you unequip it, and you hit them. The reason why I'm unequipping my elytra is because if I try to do if I try to do it with my elytra, Mojang made it so it doesn't work when you have your elytra on. That is the reason you see players take their chest plate, put their chest plate on before they hit, so they can perform a mace attack. The next thing I will be talking about in this mace PvP guide is called a dive bomb. A dive bomb, the idea is very simple. You gain height quickly, and then you land on your opponent to trigger the mace's damage. Now, how to perform a dive bomb, you do a normal procast, you look down and start clicking as fast as you can to try and get yourself to have the wind charge hit you, which will speed you up a ton. I didn't do it there, but if done correctly, it should look something like this. The next thing I'm going to be teaching you is how to properly defend yourself and gap. So instead of sitting on the floor and just normally gapping or just holding your shield up waiting to be hit, to eat or defend yourself, you want to wind charge up and equip your elytra and either eat or hold up your shield. Now the reason I tell you to do this with your shield is because it leaves you vulnerable to stun slams and backstabs. All I wanted to teach you guys, I will leave a link to this map to practice your mace in the description below, and I will also link some mods that I find extremely helpful in mace PvP. So that's all for today. Goodbye guys, good luck in your next mace match.